This is for Dallas Maverick fans, not Cowboy fans, Dallas Maverick fans. Do you still miss Luka Doncic with all of your basketball heart and all of your basketball soul? Do you still burst into tears at the very mention of his name? Do you still want Nico Harrison fired, tarred, feathered, run out of town on a rail because he's the dumbest GM in the history of basketball and because he made the dumbest trade in the history of basketball? Really? Did you watch what just happened to the Los Angeles Lukas? Did you listen or happen to see what their coach JJ Redick had to say just yesterday about what happened to his team, which got gentlemen swept out of the first round of the playoffs by a 6 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves, in just 5 games? JJ Redick said, and I quote, "We have certain players who are not in championship shape. We have certain players who must get in championship shape." So I ask you, Maverick fans, do you miss Luka's double chin? Do you miss that spare tire that he keeps around his midsection? Because I'm not sure Laker Nation would miss it if it were gone. I just watched the Los Angeles Lukas lose in 5 games because they collapsed in 3 straight fourth quarters. They were the Lukas because it was Luka's team. LeBron just handed the basketball and all the pressure and all the expectation off to Luka because the GOAT always needs a scapegoat. And he was happy, was LeBron in year 22 at age 40 to say, "Here, you take it because I couldn't handle it." LeBron has been pretty much a disaster as a Laker, except for that one asterisk championship, that bubblicious Mickey Mouse championship in that bubble during that pandemic in 2020 when nobody else wanted to stay and play. LeBron stayed and played and won a championship. God bless him. But other than that, it's been all miss playoffs and lose in the first round, except for the one Western Conference Finals in which they didn't get gentlemen swept, they got swept. So he said, "Here, Luka, you do this." And Luka, through the 5 games, in usage, percent with the basketball in hand, 32 percentage points of the time, 32% of the time, Luka had the ball in his hands to only 27% for LeBron. Would you believe that the Los Angeles Lukas in 5 straight fourth quarters against the Minnesota Timberwolves averaged all of 17 points? I'm not making this up, Dallas Maverick fans. I'm not exaggerating. The Lakers, the Lukas, averaged 17 points per fourth quarter. That's impossibly wrong, especially in this day and age. That's like Dark Ages basketball. Let's see if they had scored 17 a quarter times 4. That would be 68 points a game for the Los Angeles Lukas. And you still miss him? Because in the last 3 games, all of them begging to be won by the Lukas, look what happened to Luka Doncic. Game 3, which, by the way, was tied with 4:37 left. Game 3 in the fourth quarter, Luka went 1 of 2 in the fourth quarter. He took 2 shots and made only 1. He missed his lone 3 in the fourth quarter. And down the stretch of a game that was begging to be won, tied at 4:37, he took no shots, no free throws, and scored no points. Luka Doncic, who by far led this team in usage rate. Then how about game 4? Still a series. The Lukas at home, this is the second game in Minnesota. This is game 4. They're up 10 going into the fourth quarter. And Luka Doncic in the fourth quarter went 1 of 6 and 0 of 2 from 3. You miss him? Game 5, which became the closeout game, out here in Luka land, in LA, in Hollywood. The Lucas were down only 2 with 3 minutes left. And in that fourth quarter, Luka took 3 shots and made only 1. He was 0 of 1 from 3. Down the stretch, they were down only 2 with 3 minutes left. Luka took 1 more shot, a driving layup that looked pretty makeable to me, and he missed it because I think he was just gassed. And I think JJ Redick and Rob Pelinka, the GM out here, who made the greatest trade ever for Luka, giving up AD and Max Christie, I think they saw a guy who just wasn't in championship shape. When has he ever been in championship shape? Do you remember what happened to his legs against the Boston Celtics when they lost in 5 in the finals last year? Luka, who had been on an aberration of a rare tear from 3 against Minnesota in the previous round, shot 11 of 45 from 3. Do you remember that, Maverick fans? 11 of 45, that's 24.4%. In this series combined over the 5 games, Luka shot 34.8% from 3. I kept warning Laker Nation, he takes 10 a game. It's way too many for a way below average three-point shooter, and it happened right on schedule. He's a career 35% three-point shooter. He shot 34.8 from 3 in the 5 games against the Timberwolves. And in those 3 straight fourth quarters, games 3, 4, and 5, he combined to go, let me add this up, 3 for 11 from the floor. So he took 11 shots in 3 straight winnable fourth quarters and made only 3. And speaking of 3, from 3, he went 2 of 9. 2 of 9 from 3 in 3 straight fourth quarters, all winnable. And I haven't even gotten to what happened on the other end of the court because it became glaringly, painfully obvious that the Minnesota Timberwolves game plan was hunt Luka. Wherever Luka is, attack Luka on defense because he doesn't play defense. He conserves his energy on defense at best. He doesn't move his feet. He doesn't get in anybody's way. He'll occasionally get his hand on the passing lane and steal a basketball, but in general, they hunted. They actually clowned Luka Doncic. Would you believe of 209 players playing in the first round of the playoffs, Luka defensively and defensive win shares ranked 205th, 205 of 209. That's how bad he was on defense. Do you miss that, Dallas? I'm just asking. You should tell Nico you miss that. You miss the double chin. You miss the spare tire around the middle. You miss ranking 205th of 209 playoff players. You miss that dearly, don't you? And then this is a Laker issue and angle, but Austin Reaves can really play. And I said as soon as they traded for Luka, this is not good for Austin Reaves because he was fine as the second wheel to LeBron. But if you make him the third wheel in the backcourt, you have a great ball handling backcourt, a great passing backcourt. You got a terrible defensive backcourt because LeBron ranked very low on defense in the 5 games also. Maybe he was hitting the wall just because he played way too many late regular season minutes. Austin Reaves, who averaged 20, 5, and 6, 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists during the regular season, a little bit of it with Luka, obviously. His usage rate was 24% in the regular season. It fell to 22 in the 5 playoff games, and his numbers fell to 15 points, 5 rebounds, and only 3 assists. So his numbers fell off fairly dramatically, and his three-point shooting fell all the way to 32%. 38% regular season, 32%, because he looked like he was afraid to, is it my turn? Or I'm playing with 2 of the greatest players ever, the greatest scorer right now in Luka and the greatest all-time scorer in LeBron. Should I shoot this? Shot with no authority, no conviction. As they say in golf, Harvey Penick, take dead aim. He was not taking dead aim because he wasn't sure it was ready aim and fire with those 2. It just hurt everything. Obviously, you want to talk about missing something. The Lakers missed Anthony Davis, who's one of the best rim protectors and shot blockers, one of the smartest, most efficient, effective, skilled, and schooled rim protectors there is in basketball. They missed him dearly, just dearly. Do you remember the finals last year when he shot 11 of 45 from three? He showed you who he was. Do you still miss him, Dallas Maverick fans? I'm wondering. I know what happened. I know he came home for that one return game late in the regular season, and he scored, what was it, like 120 points? And I know. Anthony Davis sort of shrank in that game, still turned out with pretty good numbers, but clearly shrank as he felt like he didn't belong, felt like he wasn't welcome in Dallas because you love your Luka so much. And it's possible Luka just left his heart, not in San Francisco, as the song said, the Tony Bennett song, but left his heart in Dallas, Texas. It could be he's just homesick for Dallas. But I got to tell you, in the big picture, right now, if you ask the staunchest, most loyal, most passionate members of Laker Nation, they wouldn't miss Luka if they reversed that trade and sent him back to Dallas and AD back to LA. They wouldn't miss that at all. Are you sure that Nico made the worst trade in the history of basketball? Because these numbers I just gave you, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making them up. This just happened. Crunch time, playoff time, when it really, really mattered. Luka was awful for the Los Angeles Lukas. They put the ball in his hands and realized that he's just not in championship shape. I mean, JJ couldn't have been aiming that comment at LeBron James. We know he spends $2 million a year on his fitness. I'm never going to question LeBron's fitness. And then in minutes played, Austin Reaves, no. It looks like he could run all day and all night. Fourth on the team in minutes played, Rui Hachimura. God, he looks like a specimen to me. He looks like he's in really good shape. And then you guys remember Dorian Finney-Smith from his days in Dallas. I don't know, he played the fifth most minutes because they basically played those five. Next on the list from 34 minutes for Dorian Finney-Smith, you have to go all the way down to 20 minutes a game for Gabe Vincent. Do those guys look like they're not in shape to you? Not to me. There's only one guy who from the start, I questioned it publicly, never been in shape, doesn't look in shape, won't be in shape, shoots way too many threes, does not play defense, hogs the ball way too much, 32%. That's a high usage rate, man. You better come through. And he didn't. And I know he's hit some clutch shots before, one over Gobert a year ago at Minnesota. But remember how bad he was at the start of his career? He missed his first 10 late and close shots in games. First 10. Is it possible that he's no more clutch than LeBron bleeping James? Is it possible that Luka also wasn't born with the clutch gene? That's what it looked like to me in these games that really, really mattered. Not regular season games, not the big return night, welcome home Luka night. I guess if he could play for the Lakers in playoff games every night in Dallas, maybe that would work. Could we maybe arrange that? Maybe the Lakers could pull some strings and rent out the Dallas arena, the Mavericks arena for Laker playoff games. Maybe that would work. Other than that, I just wonder, seriously, answer me from your heart and from your soul. Do you really and truly miss Luka that much? Did Nico Harrison make that bad a trade? I think you know what the answer is, but you just don't want to admit it.